draw. I did some drawing, like,
What?
don't get me wrong, you can't just
But,
have, like,
do you want the water
out
bottle?
there.
I'll take it off.
The
Don't
ADHD attack, yeah, mine's gone
There we
blank.
go.
Do I press?
Is
that something that happens a lot?
all
Yeah,
the time,
go like-
all the time.
Has there been a particular situation where you've gone, really, now?
It's when your
It's
mind,
like-
when your mind starts getting on
Yeah.
a subject that you're passionate about, that's
Yeah.
it, and it's like, someone likes to do something.
There we go.
What's that about? Come on, remind me. Some unis actually record the whole lecture.
They do.
I think one near me, which is Newcastle University, they record the entire, it's not a voice recorder, it's film. I
Yeah,
think so.
Birmingham did that.
Are you
I
doing
think,
the
yeah, somewhere
meditation
they-
or am I doing?
They do.
We must be
Do you have the papers?
One-ish. Yeah.
That really downloads when you just say.
Who's doing the meditation song?
Rewind.
It's your turn this
Yeah,
time.
okay.
You ready?
Yeah, you've got the page with the disclaimers on them.
Yeah, we have to start.
Yeah. Do you like flow? No.
Here we go.
I like flow. It's why I'm doing that.
Yeah. I can't slow for. Usually I write fast and it's just
Yes, that's the
you
old
can't
one.
understand it.
Yeah.
And
Looks
usually,
beautiful. but You just don't know what it is.
yeah.
Mm.
But I have
It's
a
not
laptop and I
playing.
take fast lectures, but even when,
Okay.
but when I type, it's like loud tapping.
Okay, that's working.
Hello, 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 my lovely people.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Eva.
Yeah, your sisters are back.
Okay, can I say that again? Hold on. Let me just play this here. One second. Just a second. Another month. We're gonna take it now. Hello, my lovely people.
Your sisters are back.
And stronger than ever.
Eva.
Welcome to Guided 888, where we explore the unknown beyond the physical. We help you to connect with your life's purpose through guidance and guided meditation. Find your true self and hold your light through guided meditations.
Yeah, this is not a religious movement and we don't promote religion. Instead, we encourage our listeners to keep an open mind, to do their own research and find their own truth rather than believing every word we say. If it resonates, please continue to promote your growth through meditation and love.
Awesome. First of all, we want to apologize to our audience. We are having some difficulties at the studio, but we are here to bring our essence, our findings, and who we are as every Monday. It's not one, is it? I got
5
caught.
p.m. So yeah, every Monday we will go live at 5 p.m. at Radio Platform, UK time. You can find us also live on Instagram and YouTube under Guided 888.
And this is actually something that we will be pushing more often to our audience. We are live on the studios, but we also are live on Instagram and YouTube under the name Guided 888. My name is Zoila Garman,
And I'm Eva Lopez.
and we are here to share with you words of spirituality. Our topic for today is
Why spirituality?
excellent. And that is a fair question. I think we all deserve to know why spirituality? Why do we need spirituality? And why is the need to get into this essence of who we are in the spiritual reality?
I feel like a lot of people who are probably listening to us are already, spiritually inclined, but maybe we can still share our own experiences about what spirituality means to us.
Mhm.
And if you guys want to share in the comments on Instagram or on YouTube what it means to you, we'd love to hear. I
Definitely.
think everyone has their own vision of it. And I was having a conversation today with a friend because sometimes I think if you're maybe not in the spiritual community, you might see it. Like that's why we promote, that's why the disclaimer is that we're not a religion, because I think a lot of people think that spirituality falls under the term religion or like the occult and
Yeah.
like
Which is completely opposite.
It's
It's
not-
nothing related. It's not
spirituality isn't even like, I mean, community can be part of it, but it's not about it. Yeah, so let me explain. So what spirituality means for me is going inwards.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
looking and exploring who I am and accepting and acknowledging where I am at, I guess, in the present moment.
Yeah.
So, we all have, I don't want to say good or bad sides, but we all have sides that we're aware of,
Yeah.
and sides of ourselves that we are unaware of, that we, act upon automatically, the subconscious. And maybe saying conscious and subconscious better as like our, shadow or even light self, This, so it's just becoming aware of who we are and really tuning into what's important to me, or like us, what is important to me, and really living towards that, and really being authentically you and not hiding from yourself.
Yeah.
That is the best way, I think, right now I can explain what spirituality means to me.
And it is important that we have this clear mind as to why do we need spirituality? Why do we have to research more how to become more spiritual beings, or how to navigate into the spiritual reality? Because you wanted to not, more than the 90% of your existence in this earth is spirituality, is spiritual based.
Well, yeah, whether you believe in spirituality or not, it's
Uh,
it's who you
regardless.
are. It's literally
Regardless.
who you are.
Yeah, regardless. And we want to shout out to our lovely people getting in contact with us on Instagram. I can see you. And on YouTube, we are live as well. Thank you very much, P. Oh, that's our friend Henderson Music. Hey, hello. We are going to be using your music. Actually, we are planning already to use it in one of our interventions. Thank you very much for your music. You're such a talented person, musician. So keep going. And like I was saying, Henderson, if you're listening, and everybody who's listening, we have the duty, regardless of you wanted to know, we have the duty of researching more, getting into spirituality, getting to know what the spirituality brings for you, because we all have this soul, this electricity, this reality. There we go. That we all have I will say the push and the responsibility of growing. The same way that we grow our body, or that we maintain healthy body, healthy mindset, is important that you as well develop a healthy delivery of your spiritual part of your soul, of who you are.
Yeah, it's all about balance, isn't it? Like, it's finding that balance within yourself through but being authentic.
Yeah. It's being authentic, and at the same time getting the full training of who you fully are. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it makes sense to me. I'm just wondering if the audience will understand. It's not easy to define the word, but it's what you make a meaning of it. It's like when we talk about we are spiritual beings.
Yeah.
Living a temporary human experience. So
Yeah.
spirituality is everything, I think, beyond
Yeah.
the labels, beyond the physical experience, beyond the material. It's like the deeper version of you, and
It's the essence.
it's the essence of who you are.
You were a spiritual being before coming here, and you will
Yeah.
be a spiritual being after coming here.
You are, I guess, like the essence, the very, very essence is, I think you are consciousness, right? You just
You exist.
Yeah, you exist, but because we're human, we have, we've created systems for ourselves. We've created like society of how we live.
See,
And so we see from that perspective, and we sometimes lose like the core, like the core of what it means to be.
because there are many things actually that's been tailored, that's been taught, that society is going through a way that only physical reality is accepted, and therefore this huge part of us that's called spirituality has been taken as a woo-woo. Because we can't see it, even though it existed, because we can't explain it, because it's further down the knowledge of a human being. Does that make sense? It's bigger, it's huge, and therefore there is no like a human type of phrases that could describe what spirituality in reality means.
Yeah.
So
Which is
Yeah.
mind blowing. I was just actually while you were talking, I was thinking like we have this specific mindset of how life looks like.
Mhm.
And then there's people who are, well, if you believe there are other beings out there that are more advanced.
Yeah.
But if we don't look at like those things, imagine an animal. They see life
Mhm.
from a very different perspective.
Yeah.
Because they're not as developed. Like I guess with their mind. So
Mhm.
so they will look at us like completely different beings. And there's probably more advanced things that we don't know. So when you were talking about, us being beyond the physical, and there's so much more than the system that we've put ourselves in.
It is a system that's been running for tons of years. But I guess like humanity has reached a time where spirituality is the answer.
Well, we're exploring. Yeah, we're taking away those labels. So what we're doing with this podcast is we're encouraging people to look beyond the labels or how they think reality looks like.
Yeah.
And shift your perspective so that you can, empower yourself, that you can really experience life on a whole new innocence.
Fully.
Yeah, fully. It's not like a different level. It's not like you've grown on it's a different frequency. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like, a different frequency is different. It's like the radio. You switch channels, but it doesn't mean that one channel is better than the other. One will play classical music, one will play rock music.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that rock is better than classical, right?
No, it depends on the time, on your mood,
Yeah.
and what you want to hear.
Mhm.
So the same thing on the qualities that we have, physical and spiritual. Like, and it's good that you use the example of a radio show or a radio channel where you move the dial to connect with the transmission that you're looking for, right? And it's the same thing on spirituality. And you see, the physical reality applies to the way that spirituality works. The only thing, or the only difference I will say, is that we are more spiritual than physical. We haven't explored more.
Yes, because we see the physical, right?
Mhm.
But we forget that there's so much more beyond that.
Mhm.
because even our thoughts, they're not real, not like really physical. They're in our minds.
Yeah.
They can become physical,
They're good. Yeah.
but it all starts with the non-physical.
Yeah. And the voice was a verb, and the verb became light. That says in the Bible, right? It just comes everywhere. You can find it on the Quran, you can find it on the Bible, you can find it on books of science.
Mm.
That matter comes from sound and vibration.
Mm.
And
Well-
that is basically spirituality. Spiritual.
Yeah,
It's
that
frequency.
This just reminded me of that experiment when they were talking to water. If you have a glass of water and
Yeah.
you talk,
Mhm.
loving thoughts,
Mhm.
it will create specific harmonious shapes. If you
Mhm.
speak, words of, let's say, hatred or anger, it will create very firm, like geometrical, cluttered
Yeah.
forms. So in a sense, neither is better or worse, but if you want to feel freedom, you want to feel
Certain ways,
expansion,
yeah.
then you want to be living on a, higher vibration.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're living a higher vibration, it means you won't be matching with the lower vibration. I think a lot of people think that people are pulling them down. But if you're actually on a higher, you can't really be pulled down unless you're on their frequency. Well, you can match their frequency as well.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
match.
it's
Depending if you're vibrating on the same frequency, then you can match.
yeah.
That's why when we are going into our mind, we connect with our thoughts
Mhm.
because we are accepting, so we are on the same frequency. If you accept a thought, it will bloom, it will grow,
Mhm.
it will progress, and eventually it will take your personality, and it will tell you this is your label now, this is your thought that has become a label now, you are this and that.
Yeah.
But that happens because they both frequency were matching, were acceptance to each other. Otherwise it wouldn't have grown in your mind.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking of how, like, have you got an example for an audience? I was just thinking about, like, one of, low frequency is maybe, let's say, as an example, gossiping, right? When you start talking bad about others or the situation, you're in low vibration, right? And so if, you're sitting next to someone who's having a conversation and you join in that conversation and you get really frustrated and, like, everyone just feels the tension, then you have matched yourself to their frequency. But if, for example, you stay positive and you don't take on that tension and you look at these people with loving eyes or think that, they're just going through stuff, and you kind of don't take on what they're saying, you might even switch around by bringing in a new idea and then change the topic and everyone seems to be uplifted. Then you've changed it, you've raised their vibration. But you yourself, despite whether people are there or not, you can raise or lower your vibration. And that's something that you can choose. And it doesn't mean that being in a low vibration is bad. You can feel, actually, if you acknowledge that you're in a low vibe, then you can shift it and move back up. But if you keep denying that low vibration, it's like you're adding more low vibration because you're pushing it down. So what? Low vibration plus low vibration equals, low vibration. Exactly. But if you have low vibration, but you acknowledge it, it's like you neutralize it. So the low vibration plus neutral kind of becomes neutral, and then you kind of add a new thought of what you want to focus on, and then you shift into high vibration.
Yeah, and then I think starts with the willing.
Yeah, well, you gotta, without willingness,
the willing,
you are still resisting something.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because when you talk about high vibration, low vibration, and you switch and their frequency, there are many people who don't know about spirituality who will get lost on this. And then I just want to make sure that everybody understands plain language, right? It all starts with the willing. Then your body kind of knows what to do. but you have to, in your mind, decide, or at least say, okay, I'm gonna go for this, or I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna allow the universe to take over, for example. And then when you allow the universe to take over, to show you what way to go, then you start seeing things going out of the blue. Your life start changing. Yeah, you might lose some friends as well on the process because you're shifting
Yeah, you're shifting out of that
reality.
reality.
Yeah, and you're changing the vibration. And here's the thing, we are back to the same topic as well. You change the vibration, you might lose some friends because you're not the same one you were before. And friendships are certain vibration that normally is accepted by yourself as a receptor, as a person who receives the relationship, and as well as a sender, as a person who sends the relationship. But once one of you have changed the frequency, changed the personality, changed your life, you start to see some loose friends, some loose relationship, some relationship will go on the loose because the vibration is not matching anymore. Does that make sense to you?
It
Rebecca?
does. It does. Like, yeah. So it's not a bad thing when you shift. I think a lot of people get worried about losing friends or losing things,
Oh, yeah.
and it's not like losing; it's gaining because you're just moving into a different vibration. It's like, as I said, it's like the radio. You're listening to classical music, and then suddenly you switch into rock music, and then you're involved with more of that
Mhm.
type of things.
Yeah.
It's like going to different events, like going to
Yeah.
you'll go you go to the library and you'll meet certain kind of people.
Yeah.
You go to this specific hard rock cafe, you'll meet specific people. And the more it's interesting because they say the 5 people that you interact with most
Mhm.
influence somehow the way you're, who you are as well.
Yeah.
So yes, you can put out there your vibrations and you'll attract those kind of people.
Yeah.
But it's becoming aware. So back to spirituality is just becoming aware of, I guess that flow. What are you putting out there? What do you want? Who are you?
Yeah.
It's becoming awake to who you are rather than automatically, subconsciously reacting to things around you. Someone says something and suddenly you're like, oh, that person said this, I am this. It's more about realizing who you are, who you want to be, and putting that out into the world. And that then it doesn't matter what the rest of the people are doing because you're now stepping into your responsibility.
Yeah.
You're taking responsibility by sitting in the driver's seat of your car.
Yeah.
And so it's switching that mentality of the world is happening to me and realizing actually the world is happening for me.
Yeah. Instead of to me, for me is the answer.
Yeah.
But either way, regardless of whether it is for you or to you, we have a duty to kind of research, to grow, to be ourselves, to go out there and put yourself willing to see what it is being human. And humanity, even the same description of the word human includes spirituality. So we are more than physical beings, we are spiritual beings. So in answer to our question for the topic of today, why spirituality, I would say easy, because we are spiritual beings living a human experience. Is not the other way around, like we were told since we are a little kid, little child, since we were born. We are spiritual beings. Our spirit is so big that only maybe a 10% of who we are is living in this little experience here that we call humanity.
Mm. Yeah.
And that is why sometimes something happens that you can't explain. Like, for example, you wake up one day and then you have someone in your mind, and that person as well is thinking about
I
you. Like,
had
there's a
already-
sudden
I had a
text.
really interesting conversation recently. So
Mhm.
last week, I met this girl, and she was saying she could predict things,
Yeah.
and she would have like this thought in her head
Mhm.
about something, and then like a few days later, or a week later, it actually happens. And it's like, oh, what if this happened? And then suddenly it would happen. Like it's just a thought, and then she'll forget the thought, and then it happens. It's like she remembers that she thought that like a week ago,
Mhm.
and I was mind blown. Like
Mhm.
some people just have that ability to like
To connect.
envision things. Yeah, it's like manifestation in like really quickly.
Yeah, to connect to energy.
Yeah,
To
and I think
frequency.
it's easier
Simulate.
to connect when you're not judging the process. That's why you have to take off those labels and to like start thinking beyond the system, beyond what you've been told,
Mhm.
beyond that, so that you can make miracles. Miracles happen. Like people are ill and they're supposed to, die in like 2 days, and then they don't, or they'll never walk again, and suddenly they're walking again, and